Hello everyone, so I have not been on YouTube in such a long time, but that is because of this little lizard. So for everyone who doesn't know, I'm sorry that my camera's like this, it's just easier for me to record right now that way, because it is so crappy out today. Anyway, so, ugh. Anyway, so, this is my crested gecko. This gecko is so young that I can't, or the person that we got it from said it's too young to tell the gender, so it does not have a gender yet, and I've been waiting to introduce you guys to it. Today is the first day that I've had it for a whole week, so today is the first day. Today, I got him a week ago today. There we go, that's what I'm trying to say. And I just got up, so please forgive me for the way I look. I was just so excited to make this video. But if you go over to Shiloh's Instagram, which is my dog's Instagram, for right now until I name it, I go live on there a lot, and I show you guys it a lot, and I'm thinking about making it an Instagram and a YouTube channel as soon as I get a name for it, which will take about 3 months-ish, give or take, because it is so tiny. And it is usually sleeping, which is why I was like, okay, I'll make the video right now because it's usually sleeping, so it's not going to be terribly jumpy. So, please leave name suggestions for this little guy. He's kind of sleepy, so I might put him back, but I wanted to show you guys this little guy. So, I do call him a he, or sometimes I call it a she. Does not have a gender. I want to make that clear. So in this video, if I say he's so cute or she's so cute, it doesn't have a gender yet. It needs to grow. The gender parts need to grow. So does it. So please forgive me. And I'm thinking about doing a morning routine and like day in the life with a crested gecko with a baby, because it is a baby. It still surprisingly has its tail. And look at what's cool. Okay, it's gonna move. So what I do sometimes is I grab its tail, lift up, and it holds itself there, which is really cool. Look at it. I just want to talk the pros and cons of owning one really quick. Again, please do not watch this video and then assume that you know everything about a crested gecko, because I can assure you, you don't. I've watched many videos, I've read many, care guides to it, I've done my research, which is why I'm able to get one. I've wanted one for over 2 years. In 7th grade, I was at home, homeschooled, quote unquote, because of the whole thing that was going on. I was like, okay, if I get all A's, Mom, you have to get me a gecko. And she was like, okay, well, you have to do your research. I made 2 presentations on Google Slides. I did 2 of them with a bunch of research about them. And I've done extensive research, and also owning one so far has made it really easy to see what the pros and cons are as well. So we're gonna start with the pros, of course. Is the first one is I think they are really simple to care for. Let me finish. I think they are simple to care for, and you know they're beginner pets, beginner reptiles. Don't get me wrong, you still have to feed this thing, you still have to do the things it requires for it, and I'll go over that as well, and where you get it from, a breeder, or, you know, one of those stores. You know, I think of it as rescuing it from those stores where I can actually, you know, do research and get the things it needs for it, rather than, like, having it from a place. I did get it from one of those places, so don't come at me. Didn't have the money to buy from a breeder, sadly. I don't have that type of money because it's... Anyway, I think the first pro is it's simple to care for. You just need to clean its tank at least once a month. If you're using paper towels, I change it every 2 days because you have to spray down its tank. Some people do it at night, some people do it during the day. And I usually keep the tank around 72 to 75. Nothing past 80, nothing lower than 70, I'd say, or 72. And the humidity I keep around 60 to 80%. Right now it's at 70% humidity, which is fine, and the temp is at 73 right now. I left its tank open because I'm handling it right now, and it's very, you know. What else? The second pro is after getting all the things you need for it. When you first get it, it is expensive. Don't get me wrong. Like at the place I got it for, it was like $60-something, $70, give or take, which is fairly expensive for a little baby, mind you. And it's nothing. It's not one of those crazy morphs. It's literally a boy morph. I think it's lovely though. Like, look at those colors. And it's really easy. The food costs anywhere from $11 to $14. If you buy bigger bags, like 4 ounce, it's going to be more pricey, but 2 ounce will last you 15 to 35 days, give or take, you know. So the stuff for it is fairly easy after you buy it. Like, your water bill might go up just a little bit, but it's not going to be too crazy. The third pro for it is it's just a really cool pet to have. They are really jumpy, so it might jump right now on the camera, which is totally fine. It's just really jumpy. There's plenty of other pros, but those are just the main pros I have. Is they're really easy to care for. After getting the initial things it needs for it, it's honestly not too expensive. So if you're looking for not such an expensive pet, yep, it fell. But it landed on me, so it's okay. They are fairly clumsy. Luckily my stomach, helped it land. I'm gonna probably put it in its... So this is its tank right now. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy, So this could be either a pro or a con, is it sleeps during the day. So the reason why I say it's either a pro or a con is because, some people might want to handle it during the day. Some people, for me, since I'll be going to school full time, it's actually quite handy to have a pet that's not awake like my dog during the day, so that way I'm not quote-unquote missing time or being worried that it's not cared for, because some people, like I said, spray in the morning, feed it 3 times to 2 times a week, give or take. I think it's a pro for me that it sleeps during the day, minus sometimes I really miss handling it, but it's a baby right now. You don't want to overhandle it. You don't want to underhandle it. So yeah. So that could be a con for you. Like, I would have really rathered a pet or reptile where I can actually handle it, during the day, and it's just better because I'm up during the day. Since it'll be sleeping when you're up most of the time, unless if you're a night owl like I am. Like, I'm a night owl. Because when I have school in the morning and I have to get up at like 7:15, I go to bed by 12. So, give or take. So, there's other pros that I can think about. But those are just my main ones. They honestly could care less if you handle them or give them attention. They mostly just want the stuff to be taken care of, They mostly want the right temperatures, humidity, and they do want water or food, give or take. So they could care less if you handle them. It's just, if you do want to handle them, I'd recommend 5 minutes if they're not used to being handled. 5 minutes, then slowly go up For me, I just wanted to see how it did. First time I handled it, I haven't had an issue with it jumping too much. Like, it only jumped like once during this whole video so far. And when I want it to jump, I just kind of, it's usually on my finger, so I usually just do like this and it'll jump perfectly. It has actually jumped on this cord that I have up here before, like twice. But when it does that, I'm like, okay, it probably wants to go back home. Or like, I'm sitting in front of its tank, and it will look in its tank, like, even if the doors are closed, like, it's jumped onto the cage door, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put it back. It wants to go back in its home where it feels safe. So, just some signs like that, but most importantly, sorry if this video is all over the place, I didn't have a script. So, if it wags its tail, put it back. It either is getting too excited or it's starting to get a little bit too stressed out. I look for those signs as well, but mine usually just wants to jump in its cage. So if it does that, or if it just is like trying to turn away from me, like if I want to go and grab it from one hand to the other, I just put it back. Sadly, that hurts me because I'm like, I don't want it to go back to its home, but I know that it's a lot for a baby. So I would recommend, if it's your first crested gecko, I would recommend an adult, but sometimes it's easier to just get a baby, which is fine. I was not hoping for a baby, but that's all they sold was the babies. So, and I'll do like a whole story time of how it got it, but I was like, okay. I was like, I wasn't thinking of getting a baby, and my mom's like, well, I was, and I was like, you were? Anyway. But again, if you could get your hands on an adult for your first crested gecko, unless you really want to start with a baby to be able to have it grow a closer connection with you, it differs. I wanted an adult, but I got a baby. So, and yeah, so I don't know. They're honestly really good pets to have. I don't really have much bad to say about it, especially if it's a baby or it hasn't been handled a lot. It could be really scared for you to grab it out of its tank. Mine is, today's the third day of handling it, and when I went to go get it, it was not having it. So I just wanted to show you guys, so I had to take it out. But you know, I just stick my finger where it is, and if it runs, I don't like grab it. You know, I just kind of put my finger by it and chase it while it's trying to go everywhere. And then once it latches on, I take it out. But I don't like try and grab it, like, because another con to you guys is if it drops the tail, it doesn't grow back. That might be a con for you guys, not for me. I don't mind a little froggy butt. But basically, if you go to grab it and it gets scared, it probably would drop its tail, because that is a defense mechanism in the wild, where if there was a predator trying to chase it, it would drop its tail so that hopefully the predator would eat its tail, or take its tail rather than going to eat it, because, you know, it's better to lose a tail than to get eaten, you know. So again, sometimes it just happens for no reason at all. It's very common for them to drop their tails. Thankfully, my crested gecko has not yet. I'm still surprised by that, let me tell you. Alright, so basically a lot of pluses for me. It just is a pet that I thought would fit my busy schedule, since I have the dog, and since I'm trying to get good grades in high school to be able to go to college. My schedule is booked full during the day, with homework and school and the dog. And when it gets late, my dog just takes naps. Like even right now, she's sleeping. So it's kind of dumb if I went for a pet who was up during the day, where I could barely see it during the school year. So this is just better for me, because at night, you know, when I go to sleep, I could be like, oh, I'm gonna take out my gecko for a little bit, and you know, just handle it. Right now I'm in summer break right now, so I don't really have to worry about, you know, handling it at night. I just kind of do my own thing during the day. I'm mostly in my room during the day since my mom is working like 24/7. It's just something I do. What else? So let's talk about care. So again, this is controversial. I cannot talk today. Like, being out of school has messed my brain up. So basically, I would do more research on tank size, especially if you're getting a baby. You probably don't want to start on with a 12 by 12 by 18 or an 18 by 18 by whatever, 24 I think it is. You don't want to start that big. I made that mistake because because I wasn't thinking I was getting a baby. I was thinking I was going to get a bigger one. So, and it's not going to stay small forever, and I make sure it eats and stuff, and I'm going to have 2 places for it to eat its food. And I make sure it's eating and going to the washroom. I try my best, and I make sure to put plenty of vines up for it so that it feels safe in there. But again, you probably don't want to start with a cage that big unless if you think you can handle it and able to monitor it 24/7. This is my last full month off of school, so I was like, I need to get it now rather than later. So that way I can make sure it's monitored. That way I can monitor it eating and stuff. So I would recommend going with a smaller tank, especially if it's smaller than mine. Mine is pretty small. Again, I don't know its age. The place we got it from, they don't tell you the age of it. They're just like, you want the crest gecko? Okay. Tell me what you know, or like they tell you stuff that you need to know, or whatever, and you sign the papers, and then you go with it, basically. So, not much help there, which is why you need to do your research. So, maybe depending if you get it from a breeder, they might tell you the size, or if you look at a certain crested gecko and you know the size, wow, and you know how old it is, that would be great. I do recommend that because I don't know how old it is. So smaller tank. Make sure there's plenty of vines and climbing stuff for it. It likes to climb a lot, so I would recommend that. So like mine, a standing up plant back there, and then vines, and then on this side I have 2 more vines because they're not as full. And then I have standing up thing, and then I have a tree, wow, and then I have a log and a water dish. Because usually I have food in that one, but yesterday, I kind of put some food on my hand and it licked it off. So today I feed it every other day. So today is the day it eats. Yesterday it didn't eat, and then today it eats, and then tomorrow it doesn't eat, and all that stuff. So since it's a baby and I don't have the second place for it to eat yet, sadly, it's being shipped. It's gonna be here like next week sometime. For right now, I just kind of want to make sure it's licking it and making sure it's used to eating it, and stuff. So that's what I do. So in the morning, pretend this is me in the morning, I come and sit down here, and I have water in it, and I pump this 1, 2, 3 times. It says 6 to 8, but this thing is really powerful. And I go, and I hold this button down, and I go, okay, I check the temp and humidity. I'm gonna get a better temperature wise. So again, so I'm getting a better one in the mail that a lot of people say are more accurate than the ones from Petco. If you think the one from Petco or PetSmart for you, or from any other big pet chain like that is accurate, go ahead, use it, whatever. Personally, I do not trust it, so I'm not going to use it. So there's that. So I spray it in the morning and at night, And if the humidity is doing fine during the day, I probably won't spray down. Right now it's like 70, like I said, hasn't really changed. But I make sure to spray down because I give water to my lizard at all times. Like, I have a water bowl for it. But I make sure to spray down enough so if it did want to lick water off, it would have places to do that really well. Also, if you're cleaning out its tank, this stuff is from the pet store I got it from, and I just wanted to put it in there so that way it might feel comfort for it. I was thinking about putting it in its cage, but I have to change the paper towel out like every 2 days. So I was like, that would be a pain in the butt to do. But yeah, I just have some of that stuff. And I'm going to put some paper towel in here as well. So I have 2 places for it, but sadly this one is like broken. But I have 2 places for it to go to in case of emergencies. I have the one from the actual place I got it from, and then I have this one. Just so that way I have many places for it to go. So let's say that there was an emergency in the house, like a fire. I would have 2 places to put it if need be, you know, or maybe I quickly put some of the stuff it needs in there, you know, for it. You know, you never know. It's always good to have 2. Or let's say, like I said, the cricket carrier is broken, but I fixed it. Let's say it breaks even more and I just can't fix it. I always have a plan B, case scenario for it. So, once you're done spraying it down, make sure you check the temperature and stuff. They don't need heating. Okay, sorry. And basically, most of them are room temperature wise. They're fine. Lighting, you honestly don't need it, but if you're doing bioactive, you could use a certain light. I don't have any of that, so I can't help you there, which is why I said, do not just watch this video and be like, okay, I know what I need. Because trust me, that is a big mistake. That is the worst mistake you could ever make in your whole entire life if you're ever going to own one. So please, do more research. Please, make a whole slide presentation to show your parents. Or if you're old enough, just make one so if you ever need to go back to it, instead of trying to look it up, you could be like, oh yeah, this is what I need to do for it. So please, that's what I did, and it's working actually pretty perfectly. So, it doesn't need heating. I'm looking at heating options because I like cooler climates in my room. I cannot deal with hot or heat. 75 degrees is too hot for me to handle. 73 is a bit hot for me to handle as well. So I'm looking at heating options for it. So if you are like me and you want to have some fans going in your room during the summer to keep you cool, please look at options for that because you do not want your gecko getting too cold. So please do some research on it and stuff, and there's that. So you're done spraying it down, and then you go do your own thing for a while. I feed it around 6 to 7 p.m. Again, later's fine. Later in the night is fine. So I'm feeding it Repashy right now, which a lot of people are like, okay, Repashy's okay, I guess. But I want to get some Pangea. Watermelon flavor is a great idea if you're not going to feed it reptiles. But I would recommend feeding it powder as well. I wouldn't recommend just feeding it crickets or anything like that because it is giving it like it's like candy to it, you know. So Repashy and Pangea are the most common reptile powder foods out there that I do recommend. Again, if your gecko's really picky, mine probably is. I want to get Pangea for it. Watermelon flavor, again, most used flavor out there. I am looking at the growth and breeding one for Pangea as well because mine is a baby and I want to make sure that it's growing. Another thing you might want to get is a weight to weigh it. I personally do not have a weight even for myself, which is why I'm probably fat. I hope you liked my joke. But again, if you want to, you can go ahead and wait to make sure that it's growing properly or whatever. That's totally up to you. A lot of people don't recommend that, but I'm like, why not? Some people just do it anyway. For it to weigh it, like I said, okay, so you go do your own thing, you come back, feed it. there's not really a certain amount you want to feed it. Personally, I would rather go safe than sorry, so I'd probably put a little bit more in there than just like a little pinch, If it's a baby, again, you think how big it is, how big that stomach probably is. So again, you can decide for yourself. I recommend talking to people on Instagram or on TikTok, or like if you know anybody in real life who has them, I would ask them, how much they feed them. I talked to people on Instagram who've had them, and they were such great help with advice for me. Honestly, they've helped a lot. So maybe Instagram is a better place for you. I just make sure that they're still posting or still active on their account, because I've messaged people who weren't, and then it was kind of like a waste of time. So I'd recommend doing that as well, and also doing research. So I have a spoon up here for it, for that reason in particular. I just take a spoonful, put it in there. Either I'll use this because it is filtered water from my refrigerator. I just spray it in there, or water bottle. Sometimes I use water bottles because they're totally clean, and I'll mix it up. They like ketchup consistency, so keep that in mind. Ketchup consistency is perfect for them. You probably don't want it to be too liquidy, like it would be like, you could probably just drink it. You probably think of a lizard, they like to lick, but you don't want it to be too watery, like it could be like this. That's too watery. So just keep that in mind. So you feed it. So I would recommend putting if it's a baby and you have a bigger tank, I would recommend 2 places for it to eat, just so that you're making sure that it eats. Or you could have one like I do right now, and then you could put some on your finger to make sure it's at least eating something, or show it where you got it from and stuff. Whatever works for you is fine. So again, you could feed it every day if it's a baby, or you could feed it every 3 times a week. And then when it's an adult, I would do 2 to 3 times a week as well. You don't want to go less than that because it's a baby. You don't want to starve it, This is also a weird topic. I have a water place for it. You don't have to, but I like to, just in case if it does get dry in there. It always has a water source for it. I don't want it to get too dehydrated. And also, if it's new and it's just your first week, paper towel is a good way to go, so you could see if it's using the washroom. Again, mine doesn't go on the floor. It probably goes in its leaves. So again, you probably want to check there, I guess. Clean once a month. You could do light cleaning, like rinse off the leaves, or change the whatever you're using, like paper towels or reptile rug, like once a week if you want to. Paper towels I do twice a day, so like every 2 days I change it out on that 3rd day, because it does get wet and I don't want it to grow mold or anything, and I don't want it to be too wet. And once you're spraying it down, yeah, you could just do a quick spray down, but I make sure to get the vines and the leaves and stuff for it, and I make sure to get the log as well, just to make sure that it's, has somewhere to lick off the leaves, Anything else? Again, it doesn't have to be fed crickets. Again, maybe once to 3 times a week. Not everybody feeds crickets. Like my cousin didn't, and people I talked to on Instagram didn't, and they're perfectly fine. But again, it's up to you if you want to, or if it's like acting like it wants to hunt. Like if you put your finger by it and it goes nom nom nom, like every time, crickets might be a great option for you. Also, don't be alarmed. Some lizards do eat crickets, some don't. Crested geckos are kind of picky, so if you're not really willing to see what it will eat, I wouldn't recommend this lizard. And that's really all I have for it. You can definitely handle it during the day or at night. It does wake up in the evening to early dawn, like 5 in the morning. It probably goes to bed, or 4, give or take. So Yeah, I recommend handling it during the day, but if you feel bad for waking it up, night is always a good time to handle it. Just, it is more awake, so it might be more jumpy or more crazy. So if it's a baby and you're kind of nervous about that, mine has been really chill during the day. I kind of handle it around 6 to 7 p.m. So it's like kind of during the day, but also kind of starting to turn to evening. So that's usually when I handle it. Also, I would try to handle it around the same time of the day. That's just what I try and do, so that way it's used to it. Also, maybe feeding it around the same time of day. Also, like, yeah, I know things happen, and sometimes maybe you won't be home during that time, or whatever the case may be. Like, that's fine, but whenever you are home, or like maybe during the school year, or work, whenever you work, or go to college, or whatever, I would just try and give it a routine. Like I feed my dog lunch around 3:30 every day, 3:30 to 4 every day. I take it out like every day, every morning at 10:30. Things like that might help it get used to you. Handling wise, it might be good. So again, remember 5 minutes and then go up. You know, um, some geckos might be calmer than others when you handle them. Everything just depends. And if you have any questions, comment down below or follow her Instagram to see more of my crested gecko, playful_Shiloh. No spaces and no capital letters. Just in case if you want to see more of the gecko, but look at her. Wasn't she just so very cute sleeping on that pillow? So thank you all so much for watching. I will be either posting more crested gecko content on here, or Instagram is the best place to go because that you don't even have to follow. I'm not asking anyone to follow, but if you want to, please do. I'm not begging you to, but it would just help me out because I go live on there like every day and handle it for you guys live. So that way you guys can see it live and also ask questions about it, or we could just get to know each other, or if you just want to watch a gecko climb on somebody's hands and jump, best place to go. And yeah, once it has a name and a gender, I will be creating an Instagram and a YouTube account for it. So look out for that in the next few months coming up. It's probably going to be around 3 months. So I don't know if I'll post a ton when it's a baby, but when it's older, you get, again, live updates on my Instagram. You get updates there. So please go ahead and go there. So this was my first crested gecko video that I posted on here. So I hope you guys like it. Sorry I haven't really been posting much. I have my own Sims 4 account, which is Shiloh Plays Sims, that I've been posting on there. I've also kind of stopped posting on there as well. And I've mostly just been on Instagram or on TikTok. My TikTok account is Shiloh506, and I believe her TikTok is playful_Shiloh. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I have for you today. And yeah. Oh, I forgot to do nighttime routine. Before bed, spray it down again. Also, keep an eye on the temperature and humidity. It's really important. You don't want to go over 80 or else it will be deadly. Okay, thank you. Bye, guys.